this particular thing. Now the point, you can also do slicing inside a tuple as well, but you would not be able to change the values of the tuple. Just look at this, and now these are the values of the tuple, right? And now let's suppose if you like to append more values, just you are trying to use a append function inside a tuple. Okay, before use another value, just you can simply check out the data structure using the type function. Type is an inbuilt function, right? Using this particular function, you can simply identify the data type of any variable, and this is a tuple what you have defined here. Now let me increase the volume as well, don't worry, might be it's better now. Okay, now the point is, just if you are trying to use any function, okay, just if you want to add a 10 inside the t, okay, you will get a 1 error because append function is not defined inside the tuple classes. Okay, let me give you the one example. Okay, just how you would be verify, just you know very well, is you can simply check out all the methods of any class using this particular function. Okay, you are trying to check all the methods of the tuple, just you can simply execute, and all these are the method you can simply use along with your data structure. Okay, and these are the two normal method, count and index. Okay, you will not find any append here, you will not find any pop here, because once you have defined a tuple, you will not be able to change the values of tuple. That's why you know very well. Okay, so if you know very well, just you are trying to define any variable, and the value of this variable will not be changed in future, so then you can simply use a tuple there. But what is the difference between the list and tuple if you want to differentiate? So why we have choose to tuple, right? So let me give you the one example here to understand. So one, you will use the same type of data. Let me give you the one example. So let's take an example. If you are trying to define, and now this is a data one, and now the type of data one is a list I have defined here. Okay, inside this list I have put 3 elements, and now this is a data two I have defined, and I'm going to take the same element as well. And now what I have done, just look at this. Data one is a list. You can simply identify, you can simply verify using this particular thing, data one, and just let copy and paste. And now this is data two. And now the first one is a list and the second one is a tuple, right? Now the point is, if you want to compare the size, okay, if you want to compare the space have been used by the data one and the data two, so just you will find out the data two will use less space to store the same number of element in case of list. Okay, just how you'll be verify using these things. Okay, so to verify the size of any variable, you need to import some inbuilt functions. Okay, you need to import some inbuilt functions from the modules. Okay, so how you would be able to do this, all these things we will learn inside the briefing chapter number 14 or 15. Okay, but right now I'm going to use that function. So I'm going to use from sys import get size of. Okay, so this is a function what I'm going to use to check out the size. Okay, what I have done, so I have import this function from any another module name sys, and now let me check out the size. Okay, if I'm going to print the size of this particular thing, print, and just I'm trying to call my function get size of and data one, right? Just let me copy and paste. I like to check the size of data two as well. When I'm going to execute, just look at this. So the size of data one have been used 80, okay, and the size have been used data by 64 bytes. Just look at the difference between, just look at the difference between the list and the tuple. You have used same number of element, okay, in data one as well as in data two, but the size of the data two is less as compared to list. And now just we have to remember data two is a tuple, and now the tuple will not be able to change. So that's a one you will find out the difference. Just you can also read multiple difference between the list and the tuple as well later. Okay, so if you know very well, just your data will not be changed in future, then on there you can simply use it for tuple there. And now how can you simply do the slicing as well? Yep, you can also do slicing in tuple as well, and the same method, just you can simply use this method. Here you can simply put the index number -2, so you will get the 20 from here. Let's look at this, because the index number of 30 is -1, -2, and -3. If you will read index from forward, so 0 and first and second, so these are the index you can simply read out. So that's how you would be able to do the indexing as well inside the tuple. If you like to do indexing in t tuple, what you have defined earlier, just look at this. And now if you are trying to print AD grant from here, so what are you going to use? Just you have to use the index number of this. On which index number AD grants exists, you can simply use a -1, or either you can also use t -2 as well. Okay, so both index will be work perfectly you would be able to do the slicing as well as inside the tuple. So now let me move forward. Oops, my bad. So we were on list and tuple, right? So now we have already discussed about the string as well, guys. Okay, now you can simply define the string using the double quote and triple quote and the single quote as well. Okay, so we have already discussed all this slicing as well. Let me skip this part. Now the next data structure, we have also learned about the set as well. Okay, and now we will use set multiple times if you want to do some calculations of the mathematics as well. And now if in mathematics, if you want to check out what is actually a set in case of Python, so set is nothing. Set is an unordered collection of unique elements. Just we have to read this particular line carefully. This is a unordered collection of the unique elements. What does it mean? Let's suppose if you are discuss about the list, okay, that was an order collection of the elements, okay, not the unique elements. But in case of set, you would not be able to use indexing in case of set because these are the unordered collection of the unique elements. You cannot repeat any value inside the set. Okay, let me give you the one example to understand this. Let's suppose, and how you'd be able to define the set, just you can simply use a curly braces to define the set. Just I'm going to define a one data structure here. Inside this, I'm going to use some numbers 1, 20, 10, 1, 3, and 4. So that's what I have done. Let me check out the type of data. Just look at this. What I have defined, this is a set, what I have defined here. And let me print the data as well. Okay, one, you're going to print your data. Just this is a unordered collection of the elements you are able to see here. Okay, what elements you have repeat here, that particular elements will automatically remove from your set. 1, 3, 4, 10, 20. Okay, that's an unordered collection of the unique elements. Okay, you will not be able to repeat the elements inside the data set. That's where you're gonna use a set. Okay, or in case of set, you can also use multiple methods of the set as well. What are the method you can simply use? Just you can simply check it out using this particular function, or either just you can simply give the double tap completion. So all these are the method you can simply use if you like to find some union or intersection. Okay, so a symmetric difference, if you like to, if you are trying to use a is this joint. So these are the multiples mathematical functions you can simply use along with your set. Okay, let me give you the one example to understand this. So just this is a data. Okay, I'm going to define a one more set XYZ. Inside this set, I'm going to took multiple variable 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's how. Now the point, let's suppose you are trying to find out the union between the data and the XYZ. What is actually a union is, so you will get the you will get the all elements, okay? And now you will not get a repeated element in case of union. So just look at this, what I have done, data.union, and just you have to type another set here. What does it mean? It will give you the whole elements, okay? Either if you wanna use a 5, now that's how it will work. And now you will get the whole elements and the elements will not be repeated. If you want to try to find out any another thing, if you are trying to search intersection between the data and XYZ, so you will get the common elements between the both set. So this type of method you can simply use along with your set functions. Okay. So now the point is, so this is a method how you'd be able to use set, guys, and now you have to go through along with the all functions of a set, okay, by your own. Let me move forward on top of the next data type. What we will discuss about the Python dictionary. Okay, today's topic is Python dictionary. Now this is a very important topic, Python dictionary. Actually, if you will discuss about the Python programming language, everything in Python will be stored most of the time in Python dictionary. Okay, if you are trying to define any variable behind the scene in global dictionaries, all the elements what you are trying to define behind the scene, all the elements have been stored inside the dictionary. Okay, I'm gonna show you this particular part later, but you have to understand these things. Now, what is actually a dictionary? When you will discuss about the dictionary data structure of Python, okay? So in case of Java, if you were discussing about the Java programming language, there you have used hash map functions, okay? To map your values along with your key pair. But in case of Python, just you have to use a dictionary. You don't have to use any map functions here to do the same things here. Now, what is actually a dictionary? So dictionary is a unordered collection of key values pair, okay? So when you will discuss about the dictionary, inside the dictionary, you will find out always a pair values, okay? So if you will discuss about the pairs, pair will insert, there's a one key and the value. So this particular key and value pair you will find out inside the dictionary, and all the elements will be separated by the colon, and the key and value will be separated by the colon sign. And how you would be able to define all these things. So this is the one format. Just if you have to define the key, after that you have to define the colon before the value. Okay, let me define a one dictionary. So that's how you would be able to define the dictionary here. I have defined a 1D. Okay, after that, what I have done, I have used a one here. What is actually is it? So I have defined a one key. Okay, and now the type of key could be anything. You can simply use a string as well. You can simply use integer as well here. You can also use a tuple as well. Okay, but the key should be immutable. Okay, you will not be able to change your key here. Now just you not be able to use list as a key, but you can simply use a tuple as a key. So what I have used, I have defined a one integer one, and this is the first key I have used. The value of this key, I have defined a string here. Just give the comma, separate the another pair. I have used a one another key, and the name of that particular key I have two key, and the value of that key is 2, and that will be an integer. Okay, just I'm trying to print the type of my this particular thing. Just you will find out this is a dictionary you have defined here. Okay, either let's suppose if I'm going to define data or candidates. Okay, let me define another structure. Let's suppose if you are trying to find out, okay, I'm going to define a first key as a names. Okay, now the point, this is a names I have defined. This is a string. In case of value, you can simply put any data structure here. Let's suppose if I'm going to put a normal name here, I'm going to take a normal section Sandy. So this is what I have defined. At the another value, I'm going to take course, another value I have used Python here. So this is a one method. If I'm going to use a one another as well, you can also use age as well. So what I have defined, I have used 3 pairs here, the first pair, the second pair, and third pair. Just look at the difference. I have defined, I have separate all the pairs using the comma. Okay, I have separate all the key value using the semicolon. So that's, sorry, colon. That's why you have to use inside the pair of the dictionary. So this is a data one I have defined. If I'm going to check out the type of this candidate, just look at this. That's how you would be able to find this is a dictionary you have defined. Now the another point, let's suppose if you want to fetch any value, okay, if you want to fetch your name from your dictionary, if you want to fetch your age or the course, whatever you want to fetch. So on that point, how you would be able to do these things? So there's a 2 method to fetch the values from the dictionary. The first method, you can simply use candidates. Okay, the same method what you have used just like in a slashing operator. Okay, so just you have to use this method. The point is, but you will not be able to use the index number of your element because this is an unordered collection, right? So now if this is an unordered collection, but there's a one more thing you have to remember in case of dictionary, whatever you want to use, that's fine, but the key should be unique in case of your dictionary. Okay, if you will try to use a duplicate key, okay, the last one will replace the earlier one value of the key. So the keys should be unique in case of dictionary here. So that's why you would be able to use, fetch your values using your keys. Okay, so now the point, this is a unique key I have defined names. If you want to fetch your element, if you want to fetch your value, just you can simply use the key of that value and you will get your value here. Okay, if you want to fetch another value, just you can simply type age, and now this is a string I have defined. This is also a string in single quote also you can simply use, and now you will get the value of that key. So that's how you can simply fetch your values from the dictionary. And now the another method, how you can simply fetch the values from the dictionary. You know very well, the dictionary also have some inbuilt methods. Okay, so these are the methods. Okay, just you can simply use get item for that. Okay, which value you would like to get, just you can simply type the course. So what happens? So you will get the Python here. And now what's the difference between this particular thing and what's the difference between get? So there's a one little bit difference you will find out here. Sometimes, let's suppose to one example. Okay, I'm trying to search a one key here, and that particular key will not be exist. That particular key has not been exist. So let me try to type name 2. So that's a key error, right? Just look at this, and now you'll find out a key error because the name to key has not been assigned inside your dictionary. Okay, if you are trying to use this method, okay, and what key you have used, okay, that particular key, if you will not find out in your inbuilt data structure, so you will get a one error. in that case. But if you will use it, this particular thing get, okay, let me use the same thing here. Okay, candidate dot get. So if I'm gonna use a name to here, what happen? You will get nothing here. So that's how, if sometimes if you are trying to fetch that particular key, okay, and that particular key not have been defined inside your dictionary, thus on that point you can simply use a get function here. In case of get function, what happen if that particular value is not defined there? So you will get none here. Okay, either you can define the one value as well, because the default value will get none here. Either you can simply define key is not person. It's your choice. So what happened? So I have defined two arguments inside the get. So the first argument I have defined the key. The second argument I have defined the exception case. Okay, if this particular key is not there, so it will give you this particular value. The key is not present. Let's suppose if I'm gonna remove two here, just I'm gonna type names and execute the same thing again, you will get the Sachin instead of this particular thing. Okay, why this happened? Just you can simply use the help for that. Just don't remember anything in case of Python. Just you are trying to take a help inside the function of dict, and which function you are talking about, I would like to take help inside the get function. So one, you are using a get function. That's the first argument you have to define the key, and the second is a default, and the value of the default is none. What does it mean? Okay, if you will not type this particular thing here, so by default it will give you the none if the key is not present there. Okay, if the key will not be present, it will give you the particular value. What you have defined here, return the value for the key if the key is in the dictionary as default. Okay, so that's how these methods are work inside the dictionary, guys. Now the next thing, okay, only we have discussed about the one function of dictionary here. Now what the dictionary have used one, okay, if you are trying to fetch the value, just you can simply use this particular method is also work, but this particular thing will give you the error. Let's look at this. Because that particular key is not exist, you have defined the two here, and that was a key error, because two is a value, not a key. So that's why you will get the error here. And now the point is, let me discuss one more thing here. If I'm gonna use the same, let me paste. That's good. And now here I have defined the candidate. Sometimes if you are trying to print all the keys of your dictionary, okay, instead of values or whatever you want to do, just you can simply use these methods. Just you can simply use the keys function there, candidate.keys, and you will find out only you will get the keys of your dictionary here. If you are trying to print the values of your dictionary, you can simply use this function as well. Okay, all these functions are the inbuilt functions of your dictionary here. And let's suppose if you trying to add a new value in your dictionary, okay, how you can simply add a one more value and the one more key inside your existing dictionary. For that, what do you want to use here? So let me create a one more shell and let me type. So there's a multiple method to do that as well. Okay, now the point is, what are you gonna use here? Just if you like to add a new key, so just you can simply use this method candidates. Okay, and here you have to define a new key, okay, instead of alt key. If you're gonna use a alt key, what happen? It will give you the new value. It will give the value of that key. What I have to use? I have to use a new key here. What I'm gonna use? I'm gonna use a name too. It's your choice. Just you can simply define a new value for that key. I'm gonna use a 80 grand. That's how you can simply define a new key inside the existing dictionary. And just look at this, what I have done. So I have insert a one value and one key here. Just you can simply define. So that's how you can simply add a new key value inside the existing dictionary. And what happened if I'm gonna use a earlier key? Just look at this. So what I'm gonna do, candidates, I'm gonna use a names here instead of new key, or I will use a one method. What I'm gonna use is just I'm gonna type a Anjali. So what does it mean? So when I have typed a Anjali here, so instead of giving a next value, so it will replace the value of the names key. So just look at this. So what I have done, so if you're gonna use this method, if the key is already exists there, if the values already exist there, what value you have defined there, that particular value will replace the earlier value. That's how, if you want to add a new key, then you have to check if the key is not exist, then you would be able to do that. Otherwise, your value of the earlier key will be replaced, because you cannot repeat your keys inside the dictionary. Keys should be unique in case of dictionary data structure. Okay. Now, the second thing, what we're gonna do here, let's suppose sometime if you like to delete some keys from your dictionary. Okay, so on that point, just you can simply use this method, pop, the same. Okay. In case of pop, you will not define any index number. Obvious, you have to use a key as well. So if you're gonna use a course here, so it will remove the element from here. It will remove the whole pair from your dictionary, as well as it will return the value of that key. Just look at this, what has been removed from your candidates. If you're gonna check out the candidates later, the course is not exist right now. Okay, that's how you can simply remove the element from there. Okay, and you will also get the multiple function. Just you have to try all these functions by your own. Okay, these are the multiple functions you will get. You can also use sometimes copy as well. Okay, a copy is used to create a shallow copy of your element, because if you have heard about the two things, the call by value and the call by reference, so that's where you're gonna use a copy actually. Okay, let me give you one example to understand this thing. So where I'm gonna use a copy, let's take one example. This is a candidate dictionary, okay, or instead of, yeah, or either I'm gonna do, yeah, I'm gonna use a dictionary, just not to worry. So this is a dictionary I have defined, and later what I have done, so I have used, I have assigned all the values of the candidate inside my data. So what does it mean? Just I have copied the candidate inside the data. Okay, there's a no issue. And now the data have the same value as well as the candidate have the same value. Okay. Now what happened? So the next what I'm going to do here. Okay. The point is, if I'm going to remove some values from the data. So the earlier what I have defined actually, so the earlier what I have used, only I have assigned all the values of the candidate inside the data. On that point, what I have done, so I'm trying to remove the values from data, or what value I would like to remove, name to. Okay, that's cool. Now just look at this. You have successfully removed the one value from the data as well as. Now the point, if you want to check out the details of your candidates, what happened? So the candidates has been also modified. That's a issue. Okay, now because when you will use this method, so you are trying to fetch the same object from your memory, and this you can simply say this is a call by reference. Okay, and now if you want to modify candidates, the data is also modified. If you will modify the data, the candidate is also modified. So that's how you, if you like to create a copy of your candidates, okay, then you want to save that copy inside the data. There you want to use a copy function. Okay, that's why if you will modify the candidates, if you want to remove a one value from the candidate as well, okay, so it will affect both the objects. It will affect the candidate, it will also affect the data, because both the object have used the same memory location. And how you can verify this particular thing? So let me give you the memory location ID using this inbuilt function name as ID. Okay, and if you want to check out the ID of your candidates, just look at this. So this is a ID what have used memory object. Let me give you the memory object ID of the data as well. Just look at the difference. There's a no difference between the both objects. That's how, if you will use, if you will assign one element, if you will assign one variable into another variable using this method, so both the variable will use the same memory location. It will not use another object. The another object will not be created in the behind the scene. Okay, if you will modify one object, the other object will also modify. So that's, you can simply use a call by reference. But the sometime, if you like to copy a object into another object, okay, but you don't want to modify, so on that point you can simply use a copy functions there. What happens? So let me put xyg. That's cool. So now the point, what I have done, just look at the ID. You will find out the ID of the candidates, and you will find out the ID of the XYG will be different. Just look at 664, and this is a 6896. Okay, that's how. And now if you want to modify any one of them, so it will not affect both of them. Just if you want to append a one value inside the XYG, what value I would like to append, searching. Just look at this. Only this value will append. Only it will replace the value. Okay, if you like to add one more value, let me add one more. I'm going to take a moment for that. That's cool. I just look at this. XYG have two keys right now, And that if you're gonna check out the keys and the values of the candidates, candidate is still have the one key value, candidate still have the one pair, because what you have done, you have created a shallow copy of your candidate, and after once you have created the shallow copy, you have assigned that copy inside the XYZ. So that's how, if you are trying to call your values call by value, that's how you can simply use a copy function there. Hopefully you got it, guys. If you were still any doubt inside the dictionary, just you can simply let me know. There's a one more example I'm going to take for the dictionary, and that will be a nested dictionary I'm going to tell about. Okay, nested dictionary. And this is very important, you have to learn here, because if you will discuss about the dictionary structure here, sometimes you will find out the dictionary inside the dictionary. Okay, you will get the one very big data structure, how that particular things will be. So let me define the data here. And what type of data I would like to define? Let's take an example. Either you can simply define your dictionary in this way as well. Okay, this particular thing is also still work. There's a no issue to define your values in this way. Name, age, only what you need to do, just you have to use a comma after each and every value. That's how you can also define a normal dictionary structure, and this particular structure is also working fine. Okay, there's a no issue to define your dictionary using this particular method. Just you can simply give the enter. You can define your first value, first pair, second pair, and third pair. Only the thing you have to remember, you have to use comma after each and every elements. Okay, you would be able to define your elements using the comma. The point is, the second point you have to remember in case of dictionary, the point, let's suppose if you, I'm gonna use the same data structure. Okay, what do you want to do? You want to check out, you want to store multiple names. So just you can simply use this method as well. Okay, I'm gonna give the enter names, or now the value, I'm gonna use a list. Instead of normal string, you can also use a list, you can also use a tuple as well. Inside the name, you can simply put multiple name. Okay, what name I'm gonna, Ajay and the Abhilash, okay, and the Abhina. That's enough. So I have used a multiple name, right? Now the second, you have to define another key, just give the one comma here, and now that's where I have, and my first pair, the second pair, let's suppose if you want to check out the course, or either you can also put the age as well. It's your choice. What do you need? And just you can also use another list, 21, 22, 23, or blah. So that's how you can simply define this thing. As of what I have done, so I have done only this thing. Let's look at the data here. So that's what I have done. So I have defined a dictionary here. Inside this dictionary, I have used the first pair and the second pair. Inside the pair, the key is a string and the value is a value is a list. Okay. And now the point is how you will be able to find these values. Just you have to use same method what we have used in the earlier session as well. Now the first of all, you have to understand how you can simply fetch these names. So just you have to understand, if you are trying to fetch this particular list, okay, how you would be able to do this thing. So you have to use this particular key, because this list is a value of the names key. Yes, you can simply use this method. Okay, so that's how you can simply fetch your whole list. Okay, now the point, I don't want to print my whole list, I want to print only one name is Ajay. Okay, and now that point, just look at the difference. Just you have to count the index again, 0 index and 1 index. So after this, you can simply do a one more slicing using this operator. Just you have to put the index number of that element. What happened? Only it will give you the Ajay. Okay, and now sometime if you are trying to convert this element in uppercase as well, you can simply use a string function as well here. What happened? Because that particular function will applied on top of a string. Why I have used here? Because when you are using this particular method, it will give you a one string in return. Okay, that's how you can simply use this function here. And now just look at this, you will get your output in case of uppercase. The second thing, let's suppose if you are trying to fetch any age of user, just you can simply use the same method, age, and which user age you would like to fetch. You can simply define any index number, second. So just look at this, you will get the 34. And now the next challenge is, I would like to add more values inside the same thing. Okay, I would like to add one name, I would like to add one age as well. So for that, the thing you have to remember, if you're gonna use this method, right, and you're gonna add a names here and you are trying to add a new name. Oh, I'm gonna try to do that, so just give me a moment. So what happened if you will use, if I'm gonna execute this particular statement, so what happened, so this string will replace the whole list. Okay, whole list will be removed from here, only you will find out that particular string here, because if you want to use this method, so I will not execute this. Okay, if you want to do that, just let me give you the one example. I'll replace, don't worry. So that's how it will work. So just careful when you are trying to do some operation in case of dictionary, you have to understand the structure, right? So let me define it once. So I have defined again, I have execute the earlier shell again. So now the data, I have changed the value of data. Just look at this, and now that the latest value of the data is still same. Now the point, the challenge was, I have to add a one more name inside this. Okay, so you cannot use this method, right? You know very well about this. So I'm gonna comment it out, this particular method. So what method you're gonna use? Just you can simply use this method. So how you'd be able to fetch this list? First of all, you have to understand, okay? Because if you are trying to use function here, so because append is not a function of the data. Because if you want to check out the type of data, you will find out the dictionary. So first of all, you have to understand where you have applied your function. So that particular data structure should be defined this. So first of all, you have to fetch your list, and how you would be able to do that. See, just you have to type names here. When you will execute, when you will use this variable, or when you will execute this thing, so it will give you a one response. Okay, what it will give you? It will give you the return in response. It will give you the list in return. Just look at this. And now if it will give you the one list here, now you can apply the old list function along with this. You can apply the append as well. Okay, along with this, okay, not single data. So when I'm gonna use append a new value, so that's cool. Let's look at the value. So you have successfully append a new value inside the existing list, inside the dictionary. So that's how it would work. And now you have to add a one more age as well. So this is a method append, and you can simply define the age 49. And now just look at the data, and you have successfully appended one age as well. So that's how it will work. Sometime if you want to replace any value, just you have to understand, if instead of searching I would like to add my name, okay, in case of uppercase, so how can you simply fetch this value, and how can you simply assign the value again? Just use the same method. Understand. So first of all, you have to understand how can you simply fetch this using the names. So I have typed names here. After that, this is a list on which index number searching have been exist. Index number 0. And just I can simply type new value here. That particular value will be assigned on the existing value. Done. Just look at the data. I have replaced that particular element using this method. So that's how you can simply use a dictionary in case of Python. Okay. Now let's suppose if you want to fetch a names and a age of the same element, okay, just you can simply use this method, guys. You can print the all values in case of once data names, just you can put the 0 here. If you like to fetch the age of the same user, just you can simply use the same method age, and you have to put the 0 as well. What happened? So you will get the Sachin 21. Just only you have to change 1 and 1. What happened? You will get the age and name of the second student. So that's how you can simply use this method. Okay, or when you will learn about the loop as well. Okay, just what you want to do, just you have to change this value using the increment operator, and now you will find out the old results in case of loop. Okay, that's how it will work. And the one more thing, you can also define nested dictionary, what I have typed earlier. Okay, but I didn't create a nested dictionary until yet. So in case of nested dictionary, you can also use this type method. If you will find out any, if you want to check out in your bank, okay, so always you have to understand dictionaries also behave like in a database. So let me create a one variable database, and just you have to understand, if you, I'm going to discuss about your banking accounts, right? So what's the unique thing you will find out in your bank accounts? Okay, that was your unique account number, right? So you can simply create a one key account, your account number. So let me create a one key. Let's take an example, PNB 1001. Or instead of string, you can also use this type of account number as well. So this is the account number I have used. And now if you would like to store the details of this account number, just you can simply create a one another dictionary inside the same thing. So that's how it will work. So I'm gonna put the name of that user. Oops, my bad. So this is the name I have put. So I'm gonna put age as well, comma, and I'm gonna put a email. So I will take 3 values of each and every user. So that's how it will work. Yeah, dkran000@gmail.com. And let's suppose if you like to take another details of another user, just you simply put the comma here. Why I have put a comma? Because that was a first key, okay, of the database dictionary, and that was a first value of the database. I have used a nested dictionary inside the dictionary, and just you have to put another key 1002. So that's a different account number. Just you can simply use the same value because the keys you wanna use it same here. So I'm gonna put it Tanuj. That's cool. And now I'm gonna put the age as well, 25. I'm gonna put the email. So that's how they will store your values. And now tanuj@gmail.com. Now the point is, oh, that was a mistake I have done. Now that's good. There's a colon now. So let's execute this again. So now just look at, or either you can simply print your database. What happened? So just you will find out your database. This is the first key. If you're going to check out how many keys you have inside the database, guys, just give me the answer in checkbox. So if you want to check out how many keys are present in your database keys, just how many keys I have inside the database? 2. That's nice because I have only 2 keys instead of, you cannot count these keys inside the database because those keys are the keys of 101. Okay, that's you have to understand the nested structure of your list. If you're going to check out the values of your database, just look at this. Oh, that was a values, not a value. So you will get the old values. The point is, if you are trying to fetch a name or a age any user, so you can simply use this method database. The first of all, the point is I have to print this particular email ID. Okay, so how you would be able to do that? Just first of all, you have to fetch this database, right? And you have to understand once you have fetched this database, so which user you are trying to print your value from 1001 or from 1002. You are trying to print value from 1001, right? So you have to use this thing here. After that, which value you are trying to fetch this, so you have to use that key of that value that was the email. So now if you are trying to print that value, just you can simply use this method database. Okay, oops. So here you can simply use 1001. That was a string. You don't have to use comma, but not a comma. You don't have to use single quotes there, but you have to use quotes there. Okay, that was a one method. Just execute, you will get the email address. But the another method to do same thing, you can also use this one as well. And again dot, again get, you have to use email as well. So both the method you can simply use to fetch your values from your dictionary. The only thing what I have to change, just I have to change the account number. And now what happens? So I will get the email address of this another user as well. If you like to print your name, if you like to print your name as well, or age, just you have to put the account number of that user and you will get the name and the age of that user. So that's how these values will store behind the senior memory. Okay, just you have to change the account number, your values will be changed. So this is a method, guys. You have to understand, you have to practice all the methods, all the inbuilt methods of the dictionary. Okay, you have to practice your own. Okay, this is a normal task what I have, this is normal homework I have assigned you. So just use these all functions. Okay, and now let's move to the next point that we have to discuss about the input and output. Okay, and this is a normal one thing I have written, conversion of the data type, how you will be able to change your data structure from one to another. Just we have already discussed all these things. Okay, you can also change your list into tuple into list, set into dictionary. So you can also change all these things, right? You can also create a dictionary using the two these things. Just look at this. What happened? So it will give you the one another list. If you want to use this method, it will also give you the dictionary. So that's how you can simply convert your data structure. Okay, just if you're gonna use this method, so what happens? So it will give you the separate element as a unique element of your list. So that's how it will work. of data conversion. Okay, and what data you would not be able to convert, so you'll get all the values. Okay, I'm gonna share this notebook with you, just you can simply look at this notebook. Okay? Just what key point you have to remember, you can simply read all these key points. This is a very basic thing what I have written here, we have already discussed along with you, but the one thing you have to remember, so let me move forward on top of input and output. What is actually input and what is actually output? Just for that, I'm going to open the Visual Studio Code. So let me save this Jupyter notebook, guys. I will share this notebook along with you after the session on workspace. So let me close this Jupyter session. So here I'm going to open the Visual Studio Code for next further details. So I'm going to open the Visual Studio Code inside the current directory. And after that, we will discuss about the input and the output, how you can simply take input from a user and how can you print your values in multiple methods to the users. Okay, it's take a while, just give me a moment. Okay, so I have successfully opened this. So let me close this terminal from here. So this is a Jupyter notebook, sorry, this is a Visual Studio Code. Okay, you know very well, guys, how you can simply open, how you can simply install, and how you would be able to set up your development environment as well. And to understand all these things, what I'm gonna do, just I'm gonna open the structure. For that, just give me a moment. So let me open this thing. So we have to understand the input and output of in Python. Okay, just how many ways to print your values to the user on top of your terminal when I execute your program using the multiple methods. So for that, just I'm gonna create a new program. Okay, the program name I can simply choose any name. So take input, or I can simply take a program name of the test.py. Just you can simply choose any file name, it's depend on. So what I have done, so this is a test.py file I have created here. So what I want to do, just I have to type my Python program here. Just for testing, I'm gonna type a normal hi all from India. Okay, just save this program. Okay, this is a black dot you are able to see. When you're gonna save your program, that particular dot have been removed. You can simply use Control S, execute program just using this method. Okay, you'll find out your result. The another method, you can simply type Python. Just you can simply type the file name. The another method to execute your program, and you will get the result. The point is, let's suppose sometime if you want to take an input from a user, right? So if you want to take a name from a user, after that you want to print a name again. So on that point, just you can simply use a one more inbuilt function name as input. Okay, or either just take an example, if you like to add two numbers, right? The point is you can simply add two numbers, you know very well, a is equal to, or either instead of a, I can simply use these variables. Now 1 is equal to 10. I can simply define another variable 20, or I can print this value, right? If you're gonna type this value look like this, now it will not work. It will not give you anything because this is an actual Python program. If you will execute this type of program, it will not give you anything. But in case of Jupyter notebook, it will give you the one written statement and you would be able to see it. But in case of Python program, you will not get anything. So if you would like to print something, just always you have to use print function for that. And now what happened, just I'm gonna save or execute again. Look at this hi all from AD, or the next thing you have get the value 30. But I would like to create a one program. Okay, I would like to take an input from a user instead of 10 and 20. So what I want to do, just instead of this, so I would like to take an input from user, just you can simply use the input function for that. Okay, and now the one beauty of the Python, just if you like to take input from a user, so sometime you want to send a message to the user as well. Okay, if you're gonna use this method, just look at this. So what happened, so I'm gonna comment this session for right now. So if you're gonna execute your program, just look at this, you will not get any message, right? So user will not be able to understand so what a user wants to do. Just I know very well, okay, I have to give a number, that's why I have a number. But sometimes you want to print a output of the user, so you don't have to use print function to do that. You can simply type the same thing inside the input function. Okay, instead of C, just in case of C language, you have to use another function there, printf. But in case of Python, just you can simply use the same input function. You can simply define the statement here, enter first number, enter num1. What I have done, so I have defined a one string. This particular string will print on top of terminal when you're gonna use the same thing. I'm gonna execute, and now that's what I have done here. So I'm trying to take a input from a user, and now it will take two numbers, so enter num1 or enter num2. If you like to take a name of user as well, you can take, my bad, enter your name. So okay, this is just an example to understand, right? That's how you can simply take a input from a user. And now the point, if you like to print a name of the user, just you can simply use this method, guys, name. So that's how it will work. Let me execute, enter your name, let me put my name, enter now 1, 10 and 20. That's how you can simply take input from a user on top of console using the input function. Now the next challenge, what I have to face, if you like to add both the numbers, just we can simply add both the numbers. Just give me the response, guys. Let me execute. When I'm gonna execute my program here, okay, I'm gonna give my name here 10. Once I will execute my program. So what result you are expecting here? What result you will get here? Error. Okay, so the some users have been error. There's any options to promote like thing, and just like, okay, 1020, no error. Actually, you will not get any error. Okay, just you have to understand the one thing what I have told you. The thing was concatenation, right? Just look at this. When you will use an input function, okay, so by default all the input have been converted into a string. Okay, it will return always a string, and you have to store your string here. So when I'm going to execute this program, this you will get a 1020. Okay, so what it will done, so okay, both the numbers will, you will get in next value, in next line. You don't have to add next line each and every time. Now why you don't have to add next line? Okay, why all the values have been come into the next line? So that was a one reason. Let me give you that. I'm going to show you that particular reason as well, don't worry. Why each and every element have been come into the next line. I didn't add backward slash and anywhere. So the point is what it will then for you. So it will give you the concatenation. But you know very well, guys, how you can simply manipulate your data, right? So before add both the numbers, just you can simply manipulate into integer, right? So this is a one way to do that. Now what you will receive, just I'm going to execute the same function again. Just I'm going to put my name here, just 10 or 22, so you will get 32 instantly. So that's how you can simply do. The another thing to do the same thing, just you can simply add a integer at the real time when you are trying to call your input. So instantly it will convert your number into an integer. That's how it works. Just you can simply use same method. Now here you don't have to use this thing. You can simply use a num plus or num2. That's how you can simply use. Or if you like to add some masses as well for user, you can simply use here welcome. Okay, just give the comma. Now the point is, if you like to give multiple masses inside the print, if you like to print multiple values, this is the first value I have defined, welcome. That was a string. You can simply use a comma here, and you can simply type multiple values using the comma sign. And that second value I have defined name. Just save this. What happened? When I execute Sachin and the enter num1, it will give you the numbers. And now that's why 133, it will sum my both the numbers, and it will give you the Sachin as well. Okay, that's how you can simply use this method. Let's suppose if a user will give you the lowercase character, right, but you want to print a username in sentence case. Okay, you would like to give, you would like to convert your s in uppercase. So how you would be able to do that particular thing? So you know very well, guys. So that's a thing you can simply use. Okay, that was a case name. I forget. Let me check it out. Okay, make blah blah blah. The lower upper translate. Okay, so these are the function. Now you can simply use uppercase. If you like to convert your name in uppercase, just we can simply use this method here. Oh, my bad. I remember that was it actual title case. Okay, so Now it will convert your first letter of your name into uppercase. That's how it will work. Let me show you. If I'm going to type in normal lower character here, okay, just if I'm going to type some numbers, so just look at this. It will convert my first character of your name into uppercase. That why I have used a one string method that was a title case. So that's how can you manipulate your string when you are trying to print some values to the user as well. Okay, that's how it will work. And now the point is, what we have done, I have add num1 and the num2, and now that's why you can simply do this thing. The point is, guys, why it will give you the next line always, because if you want to check out the help inside the print function. So let me show you the help page. I'm gonna comment all this line. Okay, what I'm gonna do, just if you like to check out the help inside the print function, so you'll find out multiple methods. So that's how. Just look at this. Let me execute. And that's how, if you're gonna call any print function, there's are some default argument you will find out. What are the default argument? Separator. The default second argument is and, the third one is file, and the fourth one is flash. Okay, so these are the advanced concept you can simply check out. Instead of getting your output on top of console, you can also save your output in your file as well using this particular method. Okay, but we will not discuss all about these things, but I'm going to show you the only two methods here right now. The first one is separator, the second one is and. When you are trying to print two values, okay, the first one is welcome, the second one is name title. I didn't add a space between both the elements, but by default it will add the space. Just look at this. Okay, now by default also it will add the, in the end of and, each and every line it will add the backward slash. Just look at the thing, guys. So let's give it one extra example here. If I'm gonna print my name, okay, as well as I'm gonna print my another surname as well in next line. So what happened, just I'm gonna execute the program. Look at this. It will give you the Sachin in next line, it will give you the Sani as well as next line. If I'm gonna change the value of the default and, so that was a parameter I have to pass, and now the default value of this and is backward slash n. Instead of backward slash n, what I have mentioned, so I'm gonna type double space or triple space. So what it will do for you, it will change the value of the n. Just save this or execute. Just look at this. You will get the both values and the backward slash n you have replaced for the Sachin. Okay, and you will get the skill center next line as well. What happened if I'm gonna use the same method? Just look at this. Instead of Sachin, just put the Sani here. I have removed the end of this thing as well. Just execute the same program, guys. Just look at this. So the earlier you will get the skill center next line, but this time you have removed the backward slash n of the Sani as well. That's why you will get the old result in one line. So that's how it's worked. You can simply change the default arguments. You can simply change the default values of the print. Okay, and the print statement is still left. Okay, there's a multiple method I have to tell you in case of print. Okay, but the time is up. Don't worry, I'm gonna continue the print statement. So what are, how many methods you can simply print your string? Okay, there's a multiple example. Sometimes you will use a f string here. Sometimes you are using a format function to print your values. So we'll discuss all these things in next session, guys. Just I'm gonna take your doubts. I'm gonna give you the extra 5 minutes for today. Don't worry. So just put your doubts in chat box ASAP. Okay. So there's a one message. How can we continue this calculation? Okay, that was AJ. Which calculation actually? That's what I have done. Just if you wanted to the two number from a user, what I have done, so I have add the both numbers and print the values to the user. That's how you can simply continue. If you want to do some another calculation, then you can simply use this thing as well. Okay, just what you need to do, just you can simply add multiple thing. You can also use a minus sign or whatever you want to use. So that's how you can simply do all the things. Just execute the program. 10 2, and you'll get the whole values of the 10 2. That was a addition, that was a subtraction, and that was a division. Okay, and now there's a multiple that we have asked. We'll explain the last part, entering the names again in Jupyter. I will share the Jupyter notebook with you guys. Okay, you will, if you're gonna take out any doubt, just you can simply let me know next session as well. Just please look out the whole notebook first of all. Okay, once again, to conversion of list into tuple. If you like to convert any list into tuple, there's a nothing. Just you have to. This is a one method data. Okay, and where I'm typing, just you have to understand, guys. This is a Python shell. You know very well. You can simply what just this is a list. If you like to check it out. So this is a list we are able to see. If you like to convert into tuple, just you can simply type this method. So what I have done, just look at this. This is a tuple, and now the list have been converted into tuple using this method. How to fetch a key name in the dictionary? Okay, actually you do not be able to fetch the one single key name, but you can fetch all the keys name using the dot keys function. Okay, using the key, because keys are always unique. So using the key, you would be able to fetch the values of those keys. Can we add multiple values to a single key? Yeah, actually the value should be a single, but the type of value you can choose anything. You can use a integer, tuple, list, set. So instead of value, okay, apart on place of value, you can simply type any data structure. That's how you can simply add multiple values. But the value should be unique. Sorry, the value should be one, but you can simply use any data structure on place of the value. Okay, thank you. Please, how can we remove the multiple element in dictionary? Yeah, that was a nice question. If you like to remove multiple element in dictionary, so there's a no inbuilt method. Just you can simply use a del function as well, or you can simply use a loop to delete multiple elements from the dictionary as well, or either that was a normal, there's a no inbuilt function to delete multiple values. Just you have to use your techniques there. I'll send the Jupyter notebook as well, guys, don't worry. In line number 13, what I have done, just I have replaced the default argument of the print instead of slash, and now it will give you the triple backspace when you're gonna print a next line, because Python always give you the backward slash n. Okay, when you're gonna try to print a next value always. Actually, skill center is not coming in output. That was a part of a terminal. Don't worry, that was actually there. Yep, you can also merge the two dictionary. That was a one task normal you can simply do. If you will not be able to do it, I'm going to show this particular thing later, guys. So now let me wrap up this session, guys, and see you next session. Goodbye. I'm going to share this particular file. I'm going to share the Jupyter notebook as well, and I will share some tasks in Slack workspace as well. You have to do those tasks as well. So goodbye and do practice.